Hello, this is Luke Michael Howard, clinical hypnotist and owner of Hypnosis Hypnosis, with another video in my series on symbolism. What is symbolism? Anything, whether that be tattoos, whether that be rings, whether that be necklaces or artifacts that you wear, pictures you carry from day to day that perhaps ideally empower you to be your best self and to remember who you are and in fact what you can do. My passion for a little while now, and the way I express myself with symbolisms and how symbols empower me, is through ink, is through tattoos. But I've made a few of these videos now, I think 4 or 5 on some of the tattoos, ink, and what it means to me and how it empowers me, and not only how I live my life, but the kind of work that I do. And perhaps whether you have a tattoo or not, you may have a ring, you may have a picture, you may have an artifact, you may like walk a certain line with certain religious philosophies. Whatever it is that empowers you is cool. But I got a recent tattoo, and it's a quote that some of you will be very familiar with, because it's how I end all of my email correspondence and all of my videos. It's a quote that means a lot to me. I wonder if you can guess what that quote would be, how I end all of my emails to you, and probably this video and every other video that you've watched of me. What is it? I'll give you 5 seconds. Alright, buzzer goes off. It's the quote, and this is probably going to be reversed on the camera, but it is spelt right on my arm. It is the quote of always believe. So why did I get that? Why did I get that? Why did I do that to my body? Well, what does it mean? Always believe. Should you always believe in me? Should you always believe in God, if such a man exists, or whatever religion? No, it's not about any of that. And you can believe in that stuff if you want or not. It's completely up to you. I'm not here to be a dignity or have you adore me, or that would be nice. But it's about believing in you. And the quote is always about believing in you, that you have the ability to be anything that you want in your life. And there's a similar video I did with another tattoo of my favourite wrestler growing up, a guy called the Ultimate Warrior, who passed away a couple of years ago. And I showed you his face paint tattooed on my arm, which was great. But he always believed, for me, was that quote that really helped me in my life when it was very bleak for me growing up, and I had every kind of problem you can imagine. I'm not going to bore you with it because I've done lots of other videos on it, but pretty much every problem you can imagine as a teenager I did really have it. And one of the things that really got me through it was a belief, not necessarily in a religious being or an actor or anything like this. It was the belief that I had the ability at some point in my life to turn it around, and maybe it wasn't at that specific moment, that specific day, that specific week, month or year, but at some point I'd be able to turn it around if I just believed in one thing, me. And I urge you to believe in you. I had believed at some point that I had this unique soul print, if you will, that there was no one else quite like me on earth. There's no one quite like you on earth. That there was nobody that could quite do things the way that I could and continue to do things, as there's no one on earth who can do things quite the way that you do things in your unique way. Yeah, there's 7 billion of us now, but it's very unique the way you approach things, the way you cognitize things in your head, the effect that you have on yourself, the effect that you have on the world. There's nobody quite like you. And this is what that symbolizes for me, is yeah, there's 7 billion people, but we're all a bit different, and we're all got our own unique qualities. And yeah, listen, you can go to movies and have heroes and heroines, you can you know, follow certain religious philosophies if you want. That's up to you. It's what you want to do. But I just urge you to believe in you above everyone and everything else, because it's you that gets you up in the morning. It's you that motivates you to do those things, and those days you really don't want to do them, but there's that inner calling, that inner voice inside that just drives you forward to do those things that you know that your future self will thank you for. When everyone around you is laughing at you, when no one else around you believes you, but there's that one voice in 1,000 voices that just says, just do it, to steal a quote from a famous sneaker commercial. That's what always believe is for me. It's about believing in you, that you can do it. See, here's something that potentially could cost me a lot of money by telling you this, but I'm going to do it anyways. You don't need me. See, there I said it. But you don't need anyone. You have within you right now every answer that you ever need for every question that you ever seek to ask yourself about how you can be happy, how you can be better. Yeah, could you hire someone like me to come work with you and help you find it a bit quicker? Sure, but do you need me? No. You don't need the psychiatrist, you don't need the counsellor, you don't need the life coach, you don't need the guru, you don't need to spend another 10, 20 bucks on a personal development book, you don't need to stay up one night, watch that infomercial of that 30-day program that says if you give them 200 bucks with a guy with a square jaw that it will change your life in 30 days because you have personal power. Yeah, listen, I'm all for empowering yourself and learning more. That's cool, that's great, but understand you don't need any of it. None of it. You have within you everything that you could ever need to be a total success in your life, however you define that. Whether that's in business, relationships, health. You have everything you need. Should you seek more information to become even more? Yeah, totally. Go for it. Never stop learning. And never stop taking action, more importantly. But do you need to wait to that time? Do you need to put your life in someone else's hands? No. You can do it. You can do it by yourself. And it all starts by always believing. So that's what the tattoo means to me. That's what the Ultimate Warrior and his teachings meant to me. It was not to put somebody on a pedestal, it's simply to learn a philosophy that you are enough and you can do whatever you want in life if you're willing to put in the work to get there and you're passionate about it and you don't let anything stop you from doing that. And sometimes it's going to be uncomfortable, and sometimes it's going to be dark, and sometimes it's going to be lonely, and sometimes you're going to have to give up things in your life. But this is the price of greatness sometimes. This is why very few of us ever get there, because we're not willing to pay the toll on it. I made a decision many years ago that I was willing to pay that toll. I was willing to ride the wave of failure, of loneliness, of ridicule, of being persecuted if it meant that I was following my own code. I urge you to do the same. I urge you to be brave, and I urge you to follow that inner compass of you, that inner voice inside you that says, yeah, I can have more, I deserve more, and I'm gonna go and get it no matter what obstacles are thrown in front of me. Always believe. I've been Luke Michael Howard. This has been another video in our series on symbolisms. Always believe.